move like I need a new hobby. Fuck a 9 to 5.
Welcome to another episode of Get Lifted. 30 is the new 20. It's your boy, Smiley Jizzle, and my mans, and some big, and special guests.
Erica,
Right. That's right. Down. Today, we have an interesting topic that we wish to discuss. We're going to talk about our people, which is normally the topic, it's our people, but this is more in line with us, the opportunities that we have, pros and cons, and us of being like us, and understanding that. So let's go into it. First off with finance. Finance is always the biggest thing. So let's go into it with finance. So the biggest thing with finance in African American homes in America, statistically, I don't know off the top of my head, so I'm not going to give it.
Yes, you do. Statistically, you know that we're disenfranchised, meaning that there's nothing left for us. You know, because was there anything left for you? You see what I'm saying? There wasn't shit left for me. So, like, yo, we disenfranchised. Like, not a lot of fucking races are like that. Like, they have something set up for their kids when they reach a certain age, and they're not sent out to the wolves. You see what I'm saying?
But everybody in America doesn't have inherited wealth. But I can say a majority of the people that do are definitely not African American. The majority of the people that probably have inherited wealth are not of our race in America.
And there's a reason for that. You see what I'm saying? There's a reason.
Is that we were never given the opportunity, or was that
I don't believe
the opportunity was never available to us?
I believe if you go down deep into the history, we probably were the oppressors at a time. And I believe for the last 500 so years, it's been reversed now. You see what I'm saying? And I believe it's gonna reverse one day again, maybe. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But to certain people, it's gonna be damn near the apocalypse. If you understand what I'm trying to say, you feel me? So I don't know, man.
Do you feel like, and I'm gonna ask everybody how they feel. Do you feel like a lot of black people just don't really care about black people like that? Do you feel that way? Like, in your experience with black people, do you feel like most of black people that you know just don't really care about what happens with black people?
Not most, but I believe that most black people were trained to be more selfish than compassionate for their fellow. You see what I'm saying? I don't think it's naturally like that. I think it's brainwashed to be like that, personally.
What do you think?
I think that because of our disadvantage, because we don't have the same privileges as Caucasian or whatever, because we have to struggle so hard that we become conditioned to just focus on ourselves, because it takes so much for us to get so much more than our white counterparts to get to become successful, that we focus on that. And if someone else, you might want to help other people, but if someone else is not as motivated, or they don't want to listen, or they don't have the temperament or the drive or you, then you give up. And or some people, yeah, they don't even try, because they're like, I'm focusing on me. And then if I got to this point, or somebody else got to this point, they became successful, irrespective of the color of their skin, then why can't you do it? Why can't she do it? Why can't he?
I think, my opinion, I think that both, I think you both are correct. But I also believe that a lot of us, we're at a disadvantage, number one, because of everything that happened to us in the history of being in America. So we're at a disadvantage right here. So anything that we receive was something they had to give to us. The Constitution was never written to include us. It was never written to include us initially. So they added certain things into it. Those were other things that they add in conditions to what already is written. They didn't rewrite it. They added to it. So it was never created for us. But this isn't where we are. But even understanding that, you have to understand the law. You have to understand how the judicial system works. You have to understand what your boundaries are as a citizen, what you can do. You need to know how much seasoned your accounts have to be. You need to know what your credit score has to be. You need to know what your normal financial budgeting for the month is. You have to know all of these things, and a lot of people don't really know these things. So we're at a disadvantage because we don't know. Even when they gave us certain rights, we didn't know how to use it. They gave us rights that we didn't know how to use. Okay, you got the right to do this. Now, who's going to teach us? I'm not going to teach those in letters.
You know what's crazy, bro? Biden just passed the loan forgiveness shit, right? A lot of people don't know even how to apply for that shit. A lot of people don't even think that you have to apply for this shit. Ain't that crazy? Like, especially our people. Like, it was never like, so he made it seem like, oh, he's just gonna take it away and then you won't have to do shit. But you have to apply for that shit. There's like a certain time that you gotta apply for it and all this shit. And our people don't even fucking know. You see what I'm saying? It's like, yo.
And another, like,
but they want our votes though. They want our votes though.
You gotta make sure that they know. If you gotta have people going to people's door, because you can go to people's door for a census count. So go to their door, knock on their door, and be like, yo, do you need this? If you need this, sign up. Like, do that. Be a part of the neighborhood. Don't be afraid to walk in the neighborhood that y'all stick people in. Walk through there and be a part of the community, because
they're not trying to be part of the community.
They're not. It's a dollar. It's a capitalistic country.
And they're not trying to pay us to be a part of.
You can understand what they could do
until it's election time.
But it ain't gonna happen because it's all about money. So here's the thing. We gotta figure out how to get money. And we can't rely on them to give it to us. We gotta go and get it. Within the means that they have for us to get it, right? Because that's what we have right now. But it's a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of way to get money out there. It's a lot of things that we can do. And some people don't take advantage of those opportunities. But I'm saying that if there's people that know what those opportunities are, they'll teach them on purpose.
Also, I think, although it is true we are at a disadvantage, which I know deny that, a lot of the times people just use that as a crutch. They'll say, oh, I didn't get this job because I'm black. And then in reality, sometimes you didn't get the job because you weren't qualified.
Right.
You didn't have the experience. Or you don't have enough proof to, or even in these court cases or when people get convicted of crimes and they try to prove like, oh, if it was a black person, but sometimes you have to look, like you said, you gotta know the legal system. One, you can't get charged for something if nobody pressed charges. Like if somebody gets raped and the person that was allegedly raped doesn't go and report it, they're not gonna just arrest the person because it came out on a blog somewhere for some random news reporter or whatever. It has to be the person that was assaulted, that reporter, or if they seen it or something like that. So if other people are just talking about it and it was never verified or confirmed and the person didn't do it themselves, not like, oh, if they were white, then blah, 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 or they didn't get because because the white people, when they do and they shouldn't be doing it, but when they do illegal shit, they be smart about it. They'll make them sign a NDA or some shit, so they can't even talk about it or whatever. So you don't, I mean, that's not, it's still wrong, but I'm saying the other, like, so there's other, you can't always just be like, oh, that's the first thing that comes to mind, but sometimes it's deeper than you can't just take it at face value.
What do you think?
Victim, right?
Yeah, true. What do you think happens more though? Like, do you think that people are being held back because of their race in majority, or do you think that it's more people are just making excuses in majority?
I don't know, it depends. I think it's a case by case basis. Like, and
Let's-
like I said,
let's
you have
ask
to know
everybody that. Let's
the
ask
whole
everybody that.
criteria. You have to look at that.
Right. You go. No, I ain't mean to interrupt. I'm saying I want everybody to answer that question. That's a good question.
Yeah.
You go ahead.
Yeah, I just think I don't know like a statistic or a percentage. I don't know, but I think it's a case by case basis because, like I was talking about the rape. A lot of these rape cases, there have been black and white people that have been accused of it. Some of the white people didn't get prosecuted or whatever. But whoever said this, it wasn't the person who, or they even if they coming out on TV doing an interview, but they didn't go to the cops and press charges against them. So they're not just gonna arrest somebody if you didn't go. That's the first step. You gotta press charges and get a rape kit and do all this stuff or whatever. Like, and if the other person did do that, then that makes it innocent. Now they take the trial, and then okay, how does it play out in trial? But black people have gotten off, and I know the exception doesn't make the rule. Hold your O's on. You think that he was guilty? Well, I don't know, but he was black and he was charged with murder. Huh?
Charlie did what he said.
Yeah. So and then he said he made a book about it after because they can't charge him for the same thing twice or whatever. So
Jeopardy.
yeah. So I don't know. I think it's just I don't want to. Yeah, it definitely exists, and there may be. I'll say maybe. I don't know for a fact, but it's probably a higher percentage of this discrimination when it comes to black people is higher in comparison to just an overall picture of the whole situation or whatever. But I do think a lot of people do have this victim mindset, and because they're in a position, they don't even want to try. They're just like, oh, we're never going to be still. And it's like they know they give up. So you're not helping because you can complain about it all day, but what are you doing to correct it? You got to do what you can do. Everybody got for yourself or play your part as a whole for our race or whatever. Like just talking about it is not gonna make a difference.
And in my opinion, what I think is some is a little bit of both. But I believe the reason why I think it's more it is a bit of a victim mindset if they really know their history. They just use it as a cop on because they really like a brilliant mind. They went to Tuskegee, they graduated, alum, whatever or something like that. They got a really good internship with some, what I mean. They on the road to success type of shit. What I mean, political science, whatever they, what I mean. They that type of person and they complain about this shit, then that's different because they, now look what you've done with your life. Like now we can say like, okay, this makes sense. But nowadays, a lot of people are comfortable with the bare minimum. So, and that's because that leaves them with their amenities, like whatever they need, to survive or to get by, whatever. So they're okay with getting by with whatever they have. So I can't say that a person is lazy or, they're just trying to play a victim in some cases because this is all that they know. Just like not to coddle, but to understand that black people have had it hard, right? And the understanding of them having it hard, that there's going to be shortcomings in some areas of life. But now that the opportunities are available, there's really not many excuses, but there still are excuses. There still are reasons that stop us, that make us have to go 100 times harder, as I was talking about earlier. You're gonna have to work 100 times harder, and that becomes discouraging. Because it's like, damn, like this motherfucker gotta do all this shit, and then I gotta still do this and deal with this and da. You have to decide.
So you're
What's
saying,
most go ahead.
not to cut you off, you're saying you want the majority to work harder? That's your opinion? The majority of black people, you feel like they should work harder?
I feel like they can work harder, but they don't have to work harder because of certain things. Like now times have changed where you don't have to work as hard to really get by. You can get by with bare minimum shit. But
Even with COVID?
even with, I mean, really, like, it's people that have apartments, it's people that still, you know, work at McDonald's and Wendy's and shit. You know what I mean? Some of these places are not closing no matter what. They just you're gonna have to get your food a different type of way, like, you know what I mean? But some of these motherfuckers is still serving. Some of these people still got bills that they gotta pay, so they're gonna take whatever job is available. You know what I mean? And now people are getting remote gigs. A lot of remote gigs are opening up for a lot of people. So people are starting to stay home and work. And while they stay at home and they working, they're getting more reliant on that lifestyle and not becoming better than that. It's okay with that.
So that's cool. Let me ask you this. Let me ask y'all this. Do you think remote working is better for our people as a whole?
I don't think it matters, like, better in terms of what.
Like, let's say you had to have a job, but it was remote. So no more unemployment because you're at home.
Yeah, I work.
That's what I'm.
I mean, it's still, the only thing I would say, I don't know how you mean better. I mean, I don't think some people are, everybody's not the same. So some people don't have the capability to do type work because just because you're working from home, and some people get, I get this sometimes. People think because I work from home now, like, oh, you work from home, so you ain't doing shit. Basically, that's how they think because it's like, you work from home, like, no, I still do the same thing as if I was in the office, and they're even more strict because I work from home. So I really can't be bullshit, but I work for inbound boss business, so I have to take off, and I can't just log out the phone and bullshit. Yeah, I work from home, so I get certain, I can get up and go to the bathroom when I want to, and cook in the house. I don't have to go nowhere, so I save money on transportation, and I can smoke whatever, but like, that's, but I still have to work. Like the job that I do is still, I have to be on the computer and answer the phone. It's still the same as if I was working on different when I'm at home. But I think it depends on the person, like, because I think a lot of people, there's a number of people that aren't equipped to do this type of work environment. The only remote work would probably be call center work, you know, working on a computer and doing stuff. And I've noticed from being in different, I work for a couple of remote jobs or whatever, and every time we're in training, there's some people that are just having a hard time grasping it. So I think for those, and it's like some of it'd be like the basics in the beginning. We didn't even get to what the job entails. But this is like basic computer skills. They can't even, where's the internet? Like, literally, I'm not joking. Like, and I'm like, how did you, in my head, I'm like, how did you get, but it's like, you're holding up. So it depends on the person. Like, if you're able to grasp it and you can retain the information and it's something that you want to work in, but then for people that do more physical labor or if you're like a cashier or something like that, then that's what you're used to. And I don't know, you might be able to get it, but it would probably be hard for you to retain and you might not want to stay depending on what you're doing in the job. Like if you're taking home food or whatever, it could be stressful.
Is there a lot of people of color that work with you?
Yeah, well, the company I work
jobs are not really that difficult to get if you got pretty decent job history. Like they take people that work that more. Most of the jobs. There is.
I feel like you
I mean, you have to have call center experience.
Yeah.
Well,
I was just about to say that
hold on.
shit.
Let me just
You
chime
might
in
not
from
need
my
to know what the, you might not have to
From
have
call
insurance
center
experience.
depending on what particular company you work for. Like each company has their own standards. If you decide who works for your company, if it's an actual insurance company, then there's going to be certain standards. But different call centers do different things. They vet people for certain shit. Like if you're bilingual, you may get that opportunity just from being bilingual. You could be a certain age or whatever. They might not be looking for people a certain age, but because you're bilingual, you'll be accepted for that job. You know what I mean? Because that's what you're looking to fill that quota. It's all about quota for a job. It's a business need always, right? If it needs to be diversity, it's the business need. You know what I mean? Add more women, add more African American women, add more men. You know what I mean? Or whatever, add more Russian or Czechoslovakian, whatever.
Yeah,
You know what
I
mean?
agree.
Add different people. There's a quota that they have to meet. So what they consider diversity, we might consider it, oh, it's not many black people there or whatever. But anybody can get these jobs. And the other step is they give people opportunities. They are biased in the protocol when they're looking through applications. They won't hire Waukeshas, you know what I mean, or stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like it does get to that. Like it is some extra stuff going on here that a lot of people don't know.
In charge of hiring.
It depends
Because
on
when I worked that job.
if you're in that environment. Some people that make those decisions don't tell you when they're making those decisions. They just make them.
Yeah, they don't tell you.
Those are executive decisions.
It's a simple
And most of the time, those executive decisions are held by the executives. They know what they want. They look for what they want best to represent their company. They're faced outside of these walls in the building. Yeah, social media, whatever. They want to know, like, if you a stripper or something like that. People have gone out of their way finding out that, oh, they were a stripper. Okay, that's their business. But unfortunately, it's not a good impression for their business to have her as a stripper represent their company. So they gotta make a decision. They gotta be like, yo, if I gotta cut this person loss and then, save us the PR issue, or are we gonna keep them and try to spin it in our narrative and be like, we welcome anybody from all walks of life?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I agree. I agree with you to a certain extent, but like I said, it depends on who's in charge of hiring because I've had a bunch of them, and most of them have been through the Boston and just about every position that I had. Every call center position I had, there was somebody or several people with a name similar to what you said. So it depends on it's those people that are in charge of hiring, but it depends on how that person do it. If they're good to get that person a chance, they still got a good resume. And the training, my trainer got her name was like something. I don't know.
Sometimes the people that work at the company, they you don't know that they deep down, I want to give everybody a chance. And then they give a Waukesha a chance.
So hold on. Let's go back to our people then.
Let's do it.
Do y'all feel like
And it's not there.
our people in general show signs of professionalism, or do you feel like more signs of immaturity
That's not the
at
right
work?
And I
As a
would
whole,
say,
not like individual, as a whole.
That's a hard pill to swallow. Let's go around.
I wouldn't use immaturity. I would say when people say stuff about black people, I sometimes it's like I can't even argue with when they say negative things about black people. Sometimes I can't even argue with them because like you're giving them a reason. And I'm not gonna act like I've always been on my best behavior. I've worked on being more patient and stuff. I've been done things that I'm not proud of, whatever. I've had my ratchet moments, but I'm learning how to not
Just
be
fast
that
up
to
the
the
day.
or whatever. So yeah, like I'm trying. So I'm not gonna be a hypocrite and say I've never done it, but I don't. There are people that every single day they just always on me and they just always want to go off the spot, and then
That's not good.
and then it's like it's a time and a place also. If you at work, you should not be. There's a certain way that you shouldn't be behaving, and when they get mad, it be the main people that are always getting into fights, always cussing people out, always scratching, posting stuff on the internet, or then when somebody try to hold them accountable for it now, and it don't even be no disrespect. It's like, I'm just trying to tell you, like, chill out, you better than that. You shouldn't be acting like this, like, be a lady, or be, why are you acting like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then they're like, oh, shut that up. You can't even say nothing to nobody.
It's gonna bring that energy on you,
that's back to like, oh, are we, do we stick, I think you guys do we stick, was that on the phone or was that James? Do we stick together? Do we look out for people?
I think I was on the pod, yeah.
You can't, because, or you don't know if it's okay to say something. You don't want to get into a fight with somebody. You can't say stuff to certain people without, they don't want to hear criticism. They don't want to be held accountable. And then we try to hold them accountable, then it's a fight, it's an argument, or whatever. So like, who want to deal with that? I'd rather just remove myself from the type of situation, but I be meditating every day and trying to be aware of, you know, I don't want to be around, I don't want them, nobody that put me back in that, I want to punch you in the face, like, I want to be chill, I want to be calm, I like my peace, and I don't want to be around like that's disruptive.
What do you think, Scott?
I feel like I think some of us are very short-tempered in our environment, and our environments growing up are a little uncomfortable, very distraction, a lot of distractions, and it's hard to grow up the conventional way that you see on TV, Full House, Step by Step, whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not how it is, you know, in our life, because we don't have mom and dad not in the same room most of the time. Some of us that do have friends that don't have mom and dad in the same room at the same time, and they influence those friends, right? So you get all of these habits that perpetuate themselves, and we never really address this. We never get proper attention, like clinically, like mental health, to deal with these situations. So it continues to build and build and build through legacies and generations.
It's a generational curse.
It's a curse, right? And what I believe is knowledge is power. Right? So you gotta understand shit. So I know that you have to take action. Action is important. But in order to take action, you gotta know what you got to do. You gotta come up with some solution to the problem, and then take that action. So understanding is the piece that's very vital to making action. We have to understand that we're going to have to work hard and do it. That's the action. You know what I mean? But we don't want to do it because we worked hard enough, is what we believe. I think that we as people do try to make excuses for certain things because we know how hard it is to actually do what we have to do. And when you realize that shit,
Say that again, nigga.
I think we as people make excuses for things because we know how hard it is for us to do what we have to do.
I could say I concur on that. I felt that shit. It's discouraging. That's some real shit.
Discouraging. It's dead discouraging, like when you realize what you have to do to actually do it.
But it's also inspiring to know your potential. Like, I can do anything type shit.
Yeah, because do you ever feel like when you start something that you've already completed now to me, or whatever, but when you first started it, have you ever felt like, I
I don't know how to do this. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and then when you do it, and you be like, oh, I'm a beast. Like, now you got like, you be like, oh, that's crazy. Like, I be thinking back when I wanted to give up and I wanted to quit, but I didn't, or I thought I couldn't. Because like,
Experience is the best teacher.
Right.
Experience is the best teacher.
and words have power. Like, if you telling yourself that you can't do something, and you saying that I'm not good enough, or I can't do this, I'm not whatever, that you're going to believe that. You're not even going to try no more mentally. It's going to make you stop. It's going to make you give up because you're saying, I can't do it, so when you going to try for it, you already know you can't do it. And you say, I can't, I'm going to do this. Like a mantra, words of aspiration. Like, you push yourself because you believe it. You tell yourself, I did it, I'm going to do it, I'm going
Right.
to make it.
The negative self-talk. Like a lot of us fall victim to that. And
It's not even for a victim, it's manifest. You manifest that shit. If you tell yourself you can't do it, you can't do it, you can't, you're not gonna do it.
Is telling you that too. If other people don't believe in you, or they hate, and then it really make you like, maybe they right. Like, why
Exactly. Exactly.
so let me ask this question. Do you think our survival relies on us being able to unite?
I think it's hard to do that. Like, yeah, but it's hard to do that.
I used to.
I don't think we're going to be able to unite because of what I said. Like,
Divide and conquer.
just like you're saying, what I said about people.
I know we.
Divided we fall though.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like,
oh, we gotta stop this. I don't know. This is like a controversial topic.
shit.
We talk about we gotta
30's the new 20.
we wanna be at a certain point. I believe from my experience, from seeing other people that have children, and it's tougher. They're not ready. They're never ready. Everybody that for the most part, most people.
When they have kids, they're not ready.
Yeah. Now financially, some people arguably are not mentally ready either. Like it shouldn't.
I didn't think I was ready, but after I had it applied, it's the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah, I don't think you're ever fully ready if you haven't had a kid before. But I mean, you're not even like. I would try my hardest because of what I see everybody else to not to make sure that
You're
me
ready
and
as possible.
like,
Good.
we're both financially stable. Like we talked about this and we're both on the same page.
That's honorable.
Like,
real
it doesn't always happen
men,
like that.
real men appreciate that. Because not a lot of these females is really for us. You feel me? Like they don't think about shit like that. Like I know a bunch of
you fuck your own self and you and most times statistically speaking, and it's not I'm not saying that everybody, but it helps if you get the best likelihood of having a great upbringing, you have a 2-parent healthy
100%.
household that is
100%.
Finances are not everything, but that does matter, and you need to be able to communicate. Even if it may not always work out. Some people can't even co-parent because, like you said, women don't respect their.
they don't
I
respect.
see
Yeah.
a lot of women talking crazy to their dude, and they be like cussing out, calling them a bitch, saying it, and I'm like,
Right in front of the
like,
kids.
yeah, or just out. They don't care anywhere, and it's like why?
This is the man you chose to have a child with.
It's one thing if y'all both are going at each other, but if
you don't respect him, you don't respect your boss, sorry.
Sometimes it's like they just be doing it for no reason. The person don't even be warranted. And it's like, or sometimes I know people that have told me things that they said to their man or their baby father, and I'm like, you said that, and I'm like. it's crazy. Like I get, like I said, I have gotten mad at her, but then maybe I'll curse at the most, but I'm not gonna be like, you bitch ass nigga, something like, I never said something like that before. I don't have
foul. That's disrespectful.
Yeah,
like,
and like, I don't.
Now you doing it just to make you hurt. Like,
yeah, like,
you know what I'm saying?
and that too,
That's
bringing
crazy.
up, you want your man to open up to you, but he won't open up because when you get mad at him, then you want to bring it up and throw it in his face that he came to you in a moment in confidence when he was hurting and he opened up to you and you try to. This is why men don't want to. One of the reasons men don't want to talk to their woman or whatever. They're afraid that she's gonna get mad and put it on Facebook or do something or bring it up
Because she sees him as a child. She sees him as another one of her children, and he feels it.
But then
Niggas
on the
can
other
feel
hand,
that
the
shit.
guys who have to take accountability as well.
Because there's a lot of fucking
this
young-minded niggas that's just out there thinking what they dicks. 100%. I see it both ways.
But I kind of dragged that a little bit. But I was basically saying I don't want to end up in a situation where like and even if it doesn't work out, I hope that. Well, I feel like I don't have a problem. Like I said, I can talk it out. I'm not like it's a kid about. It's not about you or about a kid. You gotta be able to put your differences to the side because the child is the most important thing. Like it's not about you no more. Like you living for that kid to finish raising them and they go on, they can be on their own. Like that's what you're here for. Once you have a child,
I feel like that mindset is good because she's gonna manifest exactly what she's saying. She believes it wholeheartedly. She knows why the shit is the way she believes, and she's not gonna settle for less. If more of our people, just men and women, was like, all right, this is how I approach things, bro.
But then I hate though
Like,
when I say like because people always say like, oh, maybe we're gonna have kids or whatever, and then people act like it's
because that's the
I'm
misery
30.
trying to get you. That's the bitches that made the fucking mistake of having kids and dealing with their baby daddies like they're kids that's telling you, oh, why ain't you having kids? Bitch, because I'm not ready to yet.
They want a trauma bond.
100%, bro.
Like,
It's scary out here,
that's-
man.
Yeah, I don't like I said, there's no guarantee. I and this don't work out, but at least
Drama
I would
bond.
be able to
Trauma bond. That's the new
find
one.
someone that I know gonna
She gonna go in the right way.
communicate if it don't work out or whatever. But I just see with other people I'm working on this like and what I feel like how I was affected growing up with here working together not for the entire time. So like I know how I feel, I don't want my kids to or how I think it did affect me. And statistics show again.
And that's breaking generational curses, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
And that's what the fuck we need more of. We need to break these fucking curses. We need to stop dragging this fucking misery
Yeah, so
generation
like,
to generation.
You're
Like,
30 because I'm 30. Okay, what's that sound effect?
Let's
that they
change-
make? And then
That's it.